With that, everybody,
Connect with me on Facebook.
with that, I introduce to you Robert J. Moore.
Robert J. Moore, that is me. Yeah. Listen, when you're looking at a situation, I have to say this straightforward. I don't want to be around what I had to heal from. That's one of the biggest things I want to tell you today. I don't want to be around what I had to heal from. The stuff I had to heal from was not leadership. I was never a leader before. I was a follower in different ways. And I don't mean follower in God either. I mean a follower in different ways that, I wanted to fill the void. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Robert J. Moore. I'm a 5-time international best-selling author. I hit the Guinness World Records. I've been featured in Forbes several times. It wasn't always all the trophies I have behind me. It wasn't always the trophies. I got achievements from Forbes and everything else. To be a leader, I had to go through what I had to go through in life. Everybody's got a structure in their life. They have to go through a path. The path I took was not the easy one. I did 17 years in and out of prison and lived on the streets for 7 years. And the reason why is because I thought I was leading a pack. Really, what I was doing is filling the void and being unresponsible of what I was actually doing. I took credit for what I did, got a lot of time for it, and a lot of things I didn't have to worry about. But here's the thing. The type of people I was hanging around with left scars. Let's say it that way. They left scars. I'm not going to tell you exactly who I hung around with. I'm sure if you know my story, it was bikers and mafia. That's all I got to tell you. I'm not proud of it, not whatsoever, but it was the low part of my life with the alcohol and drugs. To be honest, I'm going on this September. I'll be 20 years clean sober. And in that 20 years, I had to learn to digest different emotions differently to be a different person. I didn't become a leader right away. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that journey to get there. When I got clean and sober, I couldn't live in the community without the drugs or the alcohol. I mean, that was my protection. That was my shield. So to stand there and talk and to be in front of people, I was scared shitless. I'm part of my language, but I was scared shitless. I didn't know what to do. I remember speaking at when I was in a treatment center, and normally they only put you in treatment center 2 months or so like that, but I was in 4.5 months. Plus a detox before that said that I could stay as long as I need. It could be 2 years to get me into a treatment center because I knew how bad I wanted it. But the thing is, got to remember, I cried wolf too many times to get there. I'd always go into the detox, stay there a week, get healthy, go back out and do my own BS again. I wasn't fooling anybody. I wasn't leading anybody. I was giving them bad reputation on myself. So when I start hanging around the right people, getting in the AA, they say keep it anonymous. The only reason why they say keep it anonymous is because the people in it want to be anonymous. It's not actually the physical, Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous to be anonymous, because if I go out today and sit there and say, oh, that never worked for me, well, it's going to give that a bad name, right? You mean I didn't work for me? That would be the more responsible thing to say. That would be the leader part of it. But you put the blame on someone else and everything goes bad. So, I mean, I'm trying to show you the difference here of leadership and fellowship, right? So the fellowship, we stuck together. We made sure everybody was kosher. We made sure everybody was cool. But I remember the first day being at AA, guy looked at me and said, for now on, you call me and you talk to me daily. And I said, what the hell for? What are you telling me? He goes, I'll be your sponsor. So what the heck's a sponsor? He was a big boy. He's covered in tattoos and everything. He was an ex-biker, actually. And he says, for now on, you and I we're gonna talk about things that are gonna help you out. I'm thinking, what the heck's this guy know? You know what I mean? Like, he's got 14 years clean and sober. I didn't know that though. But we almost went around back at the time. But for some reason or another, we ended up clicking. And he ended up walking me through different territories in my life that he would actually, I know for a fact he would actually know about. He made me feel comfortable and walked me through things, and I started seeing things differently. If I wanted to lead, I had to lead myself. So I learned, put myself 10 years in advance. When I put myself 10 years in advance, I said, okay, what kind of money do I want in the bank? What kind of clothing am I wearing? What kind of family do I want? What kind of house do I want? What kind, like the different things that you want to be. You're 10 years in advance. People say, what happens if you catch up? I said, you can't. You're 10 years in advance. No matter what, every day is a day further for that one. So I'm not letting someone down. If you actually look up at someone else, like I used to look up, say, Tony Robbins or all these different people, like I've been on stage with them all. If I actually go and look at them and they don't do my expectations and they fall, that means I'm going to fall with them. So that leader makes me fall, and I'm a leader being fallen, so I'm a follower. The only way to be a leader is to learn by putting things out there in the proper perspective. You want people to follow you, be true to yourself, be true to what you're doing, make sure your structure, your foundation is proper. You can't just sit there and jump into things and say, I'm going to lead this pack without really knowing everything around that situation. I've helped numerous people. When I got into sobriety, I became addicted to education. I ended up getting my social service worker diploma. I'm a grade 12 first, my social service diploma. I ended up getting my addictions degree, BA in psychology, master's in psychology, mental health crisis, 200 doctorate degrees. I don't go by all this nonsense. I don't hang it on the wall. I don't sit there and say, oh, look at my education. You know why? I enable that through me. I let people see that through me. I use it to actually focus on the person in front of me. So I know facial expressions. I know tone of voice. I know the body language. I know all the different things I need to know to empower that other person to become themselves. That made me become a leader because now I can recognize things that other people can't recognize. But first I had to heal myself. And that's why I tell you that I don't want to be around the person I had to heal from. The things I had to heal from in the past, I'm not going to say I wouldn't ever want to go through it again. But if I had to, I had to. I probably wouldn't do it any different. I wouldn't want to do all that time. I wouldn't want to do the things I had to do to get there. The stupidity, I look at it as stupidity now, but at the same time, I wouldn't change anything. So how stupid is that? Can't be that stupid. We all go through a path. And my dad used to tell me, you could be recognized two ways. I used to be on the front page for an armed robbery or something stupid, right? But as time went on, he would notice me on the front page for doing things well. Like, look over here, Forbes. I got in the front page of that. And then I taught some of my students how to get in there. Marianne, for instance, she got into Forbes on the front cover and that. And quite a few other things. Yeah, 3 times, yeah. And then I actually walked through with Les Brown's daughter. I ended up, somehow or another, God put me in the way with her. And I coached her for years. This is the difference in being a leader and being someone that's working 9 to 5. You can still have your own business, but you're still working 9 to 5. A lot of people do. Stop chasing it. Let it come to you. Let you be yourself. Here's the thing. There's 2 different types. All right. A leader is someone that's not out to impress you, but he's out to make sure his standards are up to par. He's holding everything that he says he's holding, or she, pardon me, it don't matter. I'm just saying he because I'm he, right? When I'm looking at a situation, I'm looking at the foundation of my business. I got to keep that foundation. I can't break from that. I can't, it's like going to Walmart wearing my PJs. Do I want to be recognized like that? That's credibility down the drain. I don't want to wear my PJs over to Walmart and say, oh, look at this guy. I tried that, for instance, when I was actually going to school. I went to a food bank. I was starving. I had no money, no nothing. I went to a food bank, and this is a hard lesson I had to learn, and it wasn't really something I wanted to go through, but I had to go through it. Struggling, no money. I'm in school. I'm becoming a counselor. 2 people in front of me said, listen, You can always go to the guy behind us. He's a counselor. Look how good he's doing. He's in here in the food bank getting food. That hit me hard. That hit me hard. And that made me think, okay, well, other people's opinions of you can drag you down or it could bring you up. It brought me up. The reason why it didn't drag me down is because I didn't allow it to drag me down. I just didn't go back to a food bank again. And I said, okay, I made my standards. My standards are I'm not going to a food bank. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to make that $50, whatever it is for that next meal. So I had to lead into that. I had to become somebody else. I had to become that person I really wanted to be. And I'll tell you something. I'm so proud of myself. I really am. I'm proud of my back. I'm proud of myself. You know, now I apologize that my brothers couldn't be here. 2001, my brother died of an overdose. My brother Thomas. 2015, my brother Reagan died of an overdose. 2021, my brother Kevin died of an overdose. It's sad. It's really, really sad. Both my parents are deceased. My grandparents are deceased. I got a beautiful wife and kids here. That's what my waking up in the morning is right now. Making sure this house is covered. So when I'm doing my why, I'm doing my leadership. I'm doing my thoughts to begin to show people that I'm well worthy to work with. You got credibility online. You got credibility offline. What do I mean by that? Anybody could take a picture and take it off or do AI or whatever and put it together and make it look like you were with someone. That's credibility online. But how well do you really know the person? You know what I mean? Like I could actually tell you a hip hop preacher. I could tell you all these different people that I was on stage with. I could actually tell you I was there, show you pictures and have video of it too. Now that would be credibility online or in person, because if you're in person with the person, that's credibility offline. So, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, look at me, I've done this, I've done that. But really, they're looking for that extra, oh, man, this guy's cool, man. But when you really get to work with them, they don't know what they're doing. That's the difference in leadership. Leadership, you really need to know your stuff. If you're offering high-end coaching like I do high-end coaching. I bring businesses to that next level. There's a reason why it's next level coaching. I do a lot of AI stuff. I do. I'm coming out with my own right now. I don't want to say too loud because I am coming up with something with it's Facebook, LinkedIn, it's X, all in one basically. I'm coming out with that. I'm building it as I speak. Plus, I'm building a franchise right now that helps other people's websites get grown and helps them with security and everything. And I'm doing coaching. It don't matter where you are in the world. I've sat here 3 o'clock in the morning to help people in Australia. That's noon hour there. You know what I mean? I've woken up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to talk to Marianne because maybe we need to talk about something. And we've done it. Done many times. Sometimes they weren't very pleasant, but sometimes they were the best. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's the thing about leadership. How do you really want to be recognized? To you, yourself in the mirror. Do you want to sit there and look in the mirror and BS yourself and say you're really doing well, but you can't answer any questions? Or do you want to be able to have someone come to you, ask the questions instead of just trying to pull out of a hat, actually physically know the steps to get there and help them get there? If I help one person out of 100, I'm doing my job right. That's all it is. No expectations for me, because expectations is the number one killer in any kind of business or any kind of leadership. If you go in your mind, hypothetically, say, okay, this month, there's 30 days in a month, I'm going to help 10 people out this month. If you don't get that 10, who are you going to beat up? You're going to be so hard on yourself. It's like buyer's remorse. You know, you buy something you don't want, and you're trying to figure out the excuses to give it back, and all you got to say is, I don't want to do this no more. You have the right to tell yourself enough is enough. You have the right to tell yourself where you want to be. And that's the biggest problem. A lot of people don't focus on where they want to be. Here's another clue. If you're up here and you want to look at, okay, I want to have a PhD from York or wherever, right? Hypothetically say it's York. But you're going to this school, this school, this school, and this school. Later on, you find out that the prerequisites don't match what you can do to get in there. I'll give you a little hint. If you want to be in York, look at the prerequisites are to get in there. and then look at those prerequisites to follow down. Don't do it downwards up, do it upwards down. Now you know the prerequisites to get there and make it easier on yourself. It's the same thing with coaching. I don't have to let you pain and suffer all those years like I did. My overnight success took me 15 years to get my overnight success. I didn't make $1 million just by sitting there looking at it. You know what I mean? I really had to sacrifice. If you look in chapter 2, right, of Napoleon Hill, and you listen to what it says on either read it or audio, it says you have to make a date. So hypothetically, May 29th was my birthday. I'll say, okay, May 29th, I want $1 million. What are you going to do to get that $1 million? What are you going to sacrifice? What are you going to make up? Are you going to do podcasts? You're going to do books? You're going to do what? And what steps are you going to do to get there? It just doesn't say, oh yeah, you're going to do $1 million. You have to physically look at that daily and sit there and see, okay, this is what I want. You got to inspire yourself. There's an old rule that I used to tell people. It's called the 18-inch rule, from your head to your heart. If you actually want something bad enough, if you want water underneath, and if you want to breathe while you're underwater, you're desperately for that air. Okay, if you want that air as bad as you want to breathe and do the right thing, put it from your head to your heart. I'll tell you right now, because you're putting emotions towards it now. If you put emotions towards something that you really want to do and put that passion out there, if you drive yourself with passion, I can guarantee you the money will come. But stop focusing on making the money first. You'll make more bills than you will anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people out there I've told, stop focusing on the money. Work on your passion and go from there. What, Marianne? Say it again? Yeah,
Hey,
we've had
I
long
think I've
talks.
heard that like 78 million times or so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've been working with you for what, 5 years now?
I think it's creeping up to 6, and I hate to admit that. Not,
See, we're
not
getting
that,
wiser, not older. See?
like I'm getting older. That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah. Well, I just had my birthday, 53 years old. I mean, I know you call me young buck, but at the
You're
same
10
time,
years
when you're
younger
looking
than
at the
me.
situation,
You're a
as
baby.
you know, though, I'm always educating myself. I'm always enhancing myself. I'm always taking courses to not be stuck in a situation.
That's true.
I don't need to be in a position where I'm the smartest person in the room, like we were talking about, like reiterate the situation from earlier. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I get the hell out of there.
Out. Get out.
Hey, I'm gone. I'm history. I go to the baseball game and start learning from them or something. you know. But here's one of the things. Here's one of the things. I have a 7-year-old. I watch him. Some of the things he talks about or says actually teaches me, because I think his generation is like so different from mine. Mine was do this, get outside and play. You'll see it when the lights go down. You know what I mean, kind of thing. Or go to your friend's house. You're not sitting in the house all day. You know what I
Right.
mean? Don't come back till later. Make sure they feed you too.
Get
You know what I
outside.
mean?
Get on
Yeah,
the road.
yeah. Go hit the road. Go play in the traffic. Now
Dream.
it's like we fear that, say that to the child. I will never say that to my child. Go out and play. I won't even let him out the backyard, and there's cameras all over my house and he's safe. I guess I'm a very, very overprotective father, but I'm trying to teach him the lifestyle I had. I don't want him to have. Like the other day, honest to God, the other day, he hit someone at school. And I guess he did it out of a fit of anger. Well, he never seen me do that. I've been upset before, yes. And it just so happens maybe he's seen that part there. But I do have an older son. He's like 33, I think he is. He wanted to be a gangster for years on end. And I basically said to him, let's go in the backyard. First person out of that backyard, he's the leader. He says, what do you mean? He says, you're going to beat up your own son? I said, I'll do whatever it takes for you not to go down this road. And he wouldn't go in the backyard with me. He just kind of walked away, went to his room, did his thing. And when I went to visit him again, because he was raised by my aunt, because of the way I raised stupidity on my own. He was wearing a suit and tie, not into the gangster world no more, and wanted to become a police officer, and he did. He went through the schooling. He says the only thing he really truly wants to do now is pull me over. That's all he wants to do, is just pull me over one day and just feel that freedom from that. I said, no problem. Here's my license plate. I'll let you know when I'm in town. He goes, I want it to be a surprise. I said, okay, I hear you. I understand where he's coming from. I did put them through a lot. I'd call them from the prison. He would never see me, and when he did see me, he would be, you know, I wasn't much of a leader in that pack because he wanted to follow them steps. Today I look at myself as a proud father, a proud leader, a proud person that's been down the road that can actually got a lot of expertise. I was actually talking to someone this morning. They actually bought my business, Magnetic Entrepreneur, and she said, is there anything you really haven't done? Because there's different layers to you that you've, when they mentioned something about music and that, well, I used to own a record label, you know, and she goes, what? I didn't know that. Well, a lot of people don't know a lot of things about people until they get to sit down and talk to them. That's the biggest thing with people. If you work with someone and they stick around for 5-6 years, you're doing a really good thing. You must be doing something that intrigues them. It could be the personality, it could be the way you're walking through life, and they're learning from you, or many things. Or maybe they hate you so much they want to keep the enemies close. Who knows? But when you're looking at the situation and people come into your life, I read this somewhere, and I think it's the most amazing thing. Sometimes people come into your life, once they get what they need, they disappear. And that's true. I mean, I've seen that happen so many times to me. People will come into my life. Once I feel, I don't know why, but once I feel, or once I got information I needed, it's like God put me on a different path away from them. And it happens a lot to everybody. And people wonder, well, what did I do? You didn't do nothing. It's just a path that everybody's on. I've studied 32 of the top achievers, and I didn't want to be one of them. I wanted to be me. So I took a chunk of each of them and built me. But at the same time, like I said, I'm trying to keep ahead of the times. I'm trying to be 10 years in advance. That's why I joined and learned how to do AI really well. I got postings going on right now as I speak. I don't have to physically do them. When I sleep, it does it for me. You know, different things. And the programs that I'm building right now, they're pretty amazing. So basically the biggest thing I could say to you is don't give up. You know what I mean? There's a guy that used to dig for gold. He gave up years and years later. All of a sudden he said he had enough. He sold the property. The next guy that bought the property dug it for 2 hours, and there was the gold. Don't give up 10 minutes before the miracle happens. I've seen myself literally say, oh, I just need that one thing to happen. Just need that one thing to happen. Make it happen. Get off your ass and make it happen. Never mind sitting there saying, oh, next week is going to be the week. No, right now is going to be the day. Right now, this second. You owe it to you. Get up off your ass. Get off the potato chips, the bonbons, or whatever you want to call it, and make it happen. Don't dream about it. Make it happen. You know? Like I said, I'm Robert J. Moore. I didn't make it because someone else brought me here. I made it because I had to go through the tough times of learning. I had to learn from other leaders to be here. And today, I'm still learning from those leaders. I learn a lot from the students I'm with, too, because their ways of doing things are different than the ways I might be learning from the top people. It's amazing how you can learn. It's amazing how you can go through things. And it's amazing how things happen at the right moment. So don't think if you're putting out a prayer, it's not going to happen. It's not happening at your time. Maybe it's going to happen on the time it's supposed to happen. Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you. Always such a pleasure. such a pleasure to have my own coach on here. Actually, I have a couple of coaches and they've all been on here.
That's the way to do it, though. Never have one coach. I mean, you got to have one coach for this, one coach for that. I don't know everything. I mean, I can't focus on all the aspects. I don't know real estate, so how am I going to coach you on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know this or that. I mean, how am I going
I
to coach
have
you
my
on that?
spiritual coaches. I've got
Yeah,
my,
I don't do that.
I've
I
got
fall
my,
asleep when I do that stuff.
yeah. So I told him, I said, you got to come on to this one because my next two summits are all going to revolve around health. And the next one is anti-aging, or no, aging backwards. And then
Nah, that was not going to work for me.
see, it's more about the supplement.